Hey, what's up? It's Killer Kill from the VO Killer Mike.
Yo, what's good with you? This Big Gip.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Lil Zane.
New face was there. It's official now.
Hey, check this out, man. It's your boy Young Joe.
Hey, what it do? It's the boy Young LA, Futuristic Leland.
What up, world? You already know who it is. The world famous DJ Swamp Izzo.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy $2 Fabo, Bankhead Fabo, D4L Fabo. Oh, and I'm in the street with voices in the streets, and we unfiltered. Yeah, I'm saying everything.
What's up, y'all? It is Voices in the Streets Unfiltered, the podcast. I'm your girl, Desii Tea.
Austin McCall.
Xavier Brandon on the MIC.
Yes. And this is episode
5.
Oh, we do okay.
I think now we can have guests, right?
Yeah.
After this?
Yeah.
We just wanted to, solidify us so that y'all can get to know who we are before we start bringing on special people. But
On the strippers.
in strippers. That's all you want, Austin?
Nope, I want intelligent. The strippers are intelligent.
They are
They are. They're
Bring
very
'em
smart.
on.
And they're financially, I think they
Well,
know.
business people.
It's a business.
Survivors.
Two things can be true at the same time.
You said survivors?
Yeah, they be survivors.
Okay. Well, speaking of survivors, it's been a lot of.
Come on, man.
With the layup, with the
A professional. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of that. You know what I'm saying?
Razzle dazzle.
We're going to go ahead and get into some tea, y'all. If you don't know nothing about Desii with the tea,
What flavor?
we're not going to do a flavor today. It's
Oh.
very spicy, though.
Oh, so say we got hot water?
So it can be chai tea if you want it to be.
Oh,
All
what's
right.
It's a little dirty
the
chai.
matcha? What's the matcha?
Dirty.
A little dirty matcha tea.
Oh,
y'all
never
had
mind. Never mind. I don't know what it is. I don't want it.
It's really good, though.
Matcha?
Yeah, it's green.
Okay, that's what's stopping me. It look like, ugh.
Anyways, see, you made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry.
Lord Jesus. The tea is spicy. Okay, Desii with the tea is on our radio show, and we bringing it here just a little bit. So surviving, y'all. It's a lot of people who are trying to survive these men. Can we agree? No. Yes. Okay. First, let's get into it.
That's very subjective. Des. Okay.
So as we have been watching this past week, y'all, it's a lot that has been popping out. It's just been a lot for the celebrity world. It's been a lot for the gossip world, and I kind of live for it on my tea. Halle Bailey and DDG, Tory Lanez and Megan, and the story of the story this week, Diddy and Cassie. But Halle and DDG, Halle has just she came out and said that he put some hands on her.
Really?
Yeah.
She took a picture of a chipped tooth. I wonder how that happened. And bruises on
Did
her
you see the
arm.
tooth?
I did see the tooth.
So what you thought when you saw the tooth? When you read that she her tooth was messed up, and then you saw the tooth, did it match what you thought?
I saw the tooth before I read.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just still curious. How did the tooth how
It's
did
the
it chip?
smallest
It isn't-
piece of.
It doesn't matter if
I'm
it's
not
small
saying.
or
I'm
big,
not saying.
though.
I'm just saying if he come out and he like, yo, I've never put my hands on her. I don't even know how she messed her tooth up. I would be like, yeah, how did your
Maybe
tooth?
he pushed. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking.
Whatever. However, yeah.
Maybe it was a push and she knocked into something or two.
I believe.
I don't understand how that could happen. But just some background on DDG and Halle Bailey. DDG is a streamer.
Look, why you looking
was
at
a
me?
rapper
'Cause
first.
She looking at me because
He was a rapper first.
He was a rapper
no,
first. and he's a
no, listen to him.
I
You
just
were
know
right.
him to
You
be a
were right.
streamer.
Oh, he wasn't a rapper?
No, he a YouTuber that decided he wanted to be a rapper.
Okay.
And around the time he met,
Okay.
Okay,
he met
and
the
we
Halle
know
girl.
Halle to be, a famous singer.
Atlanta's own.
Atlanta's own
Didn't know that.
actress. She has her sister Chloe and Halle. They've been on TV shows. She's been our mermaid.
Right.
She is a superstar. She is a triple threat.
Disney money.
Disney money. Okay, and so they got together in 2022.
And Beyonce's protege.
Oh, and Beyonce's protege. Look at you. You
Come
want
on.
to do the tea?
Come on.
Okay.
Let him cook.
I'm just here to help.
And so they were together in 2022. Then they had a son in 2023.
Never do that, by the way.
Never.
Don't date somebody for a year and then get them pregnant.
Oh, wait a minute. That happened to me.
Oh.
Hello.
That happened to me. And then they broke up in 2024.
Yes, they did.
So when they broke up, they were all about co-parenting. We're good. Everything's fine. So everything kind of coming out is a little crazy, but you can kind of tell throughout the stories that's been coming out through this year, it's a little rocky. So as of last week, Halle had put out a temporary restraining order on DDG, as well as she's taking she wants sole legal and physical custody of their son.
What's the restraining order for?
The restraining order is based off of multiple instances of physical, verbal, emotional, and financial abuse.
So the last part I don't understand, but the rest of it is like just them having disputes and stuff like that. And if what she alleging is true, and like they got into an argument, because this allegedly like happened in January. What month is it?
It's May.
It's May. It's towards the middle of May. So this happened in January, right? And like what people are saying that try to push back is that in the court of public opinion, like, cause you probably don't remember this, but like she had a moment where he took their son on stream and she like went off. Like she was really mad.
Yeah.
She was really mad about it, and she thought that the public would be like, yeah, fuck that nigga. Like, why did you? But it wasn't. It was, what was wrong with that? It was just Casanat. Like you went on Casanat's stream and blah, 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 like all of this different stuff, and she didn't win the public opinion battle. And after that, she kind of was cool.
So we thought.
Exactly. So you thought, and then that would be the argument. What I would say is, more than likely, what happened, and he probably didn't think it was going to turn into what it turned into, but like he was supposedly on stream when the news came out. I saw that video. It looked staged to me, just because, from my understanding, if somebody filed a restraining order against you, you got to be notified. Yeah. So before TMZ would have known that he had a restraining order, he would have known he had a restraining order.
Agreed.
So for him to be on stream, he acted like he found out like everybody else. So I was like, yeah, this nigga think niggas. But that's what you do when your audience is children. Like you trying to get people on your side and shit. It don't matter what's
But I think that's the other issue is that.
And he on stream with fucking Band-Aids around the time of them. Somebody went to an old stream, found the stream from when she says this happened, and the nigga arm had like a bunch of small Band-Aids on it. But it looked like, if you think about it, if you in the fucking car and a girl like reaching to the car and y'all like tussling or whatever, one side probably would be more fucked up than one.
To even imagine all of that, because Halle she seems so
she
sweet
a girl.
And just quiet.
She a girl still. A person.
Still, I mean, I know she's still a person, but what she portrays, it just kind of is hard to imagine.
And I think what's interesting is that I remember a stream where when he was going at it about Halo being on, the stream, he was saying, you got this image that you're portraying to the world, and I've been trying to protect this image for you as well, but now I'm fed up. And I think that we have to stop putting these celebrities on some kind of pedestal and thinking that they are not human and flawed individuals. Like, yes, just because you portray this image on social media or in the limelight don't mean that's the same way you are behind closed doors.
Everybody has an alter ego.
Because if the rest of the cases that we've been following are any indication, you could present your representative as a certain way and really be something. I'm not trying to say that she is a horrible human being, but I am trying to say that she is a human being. And when you're pushed into the corner or when you feel frustrated or angry, you respond a certain way. If you don't know how to deal with your anger, you might lend to violence, scratching, throwing stuff at people, breaking stuff. Like, those are all tendencies of rage and anger that you don't know how to express.
And her argument was that she was trying to she didn't want him to take her son because she said he was irritable or mad or something. So she didn't want him driving off with the baby. And she tried to get the baby or whatever, which is how she was saying that stuff happened. But I mean, you're right. Like, they people, I hope they like work it out because they got a kid together. So, you know what I'm saying? Either way,
it's gonna take some time though. Like, in particular situations like this, it literally is going to take time. It's going to be a matter of because you're in a new space. At first, y'all were together. At first, you had a kid, and that was a whole new space. Now you are working in a space of being co-parents to a degree, or just parents of this child. Because if y'all can't co-parent, it's two different ways. You know what I'm saying? It's two different things. So both of them are probably hurt. Both of them still got some issues with one another, and trying to figure it out because you got a child together. And that's nobody really wants to be in that particular situation. I'm sure Halle didn't see herself being a single mom.
I don't think,
or not even single mom, but having a kid and not being with that person. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole new ordeal that they have to work through. And literally in a span of 3 years, a lot has happened. They got together, they got pregnant, then they got they separated
Situation
or
ended.
whatever. And so now they're and you have to kind of accept the fact that we're gonna be together for the rest of our lives to a degree because we got a kid. So they got to figure it out.
Yeah, and one of the things that always interests me, this isn't about any like domestic disputes, but just in parenting, is how when one parent wants to get their child and another parent is like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, especially if there's not like a court order in place, that always seems to trouble me. And maybe I'm looking at it from a lens because I'm an active father.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I want to get my kids, I'm going to get my kids.
Yeah.
Because I know how to take care of my children. You know what I'm saying?
No, you won't.
Yes, I would.
Well, then they're going to come knock on your door, X, and take you away.
That's but see, that in itself, that thought process is problematic because if I don't know how DDG has been parenting, I don't know how Halle.
He seems like a good. I'll be honest. Both of them seem good.
Based on it seems like they both are.
They seem good.
Are good parents.
Yeah.
I don't believe Halle should have the right to sit there and say, I can't take my child.
Wait a minute now.
You know what I'm saying?
Depending on what state you're in. We kind of talked about this before a couple months ago, and we never brought it to any of our shows. But in the state of Georgia, and again, depending on the state, but in the state of Georgia, if you don't have any type of custody or paperwork or court order in between, the mother has full rights to that child. If you don't have anything, the father.
That's true.
The father can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He can't make any decisions. He doesn't even have the right to see him. The mother has full rights of the child in the state of Georgia until y'all get some type of court order or custody situation, set together. In this situation with them, they don't have anything set up. So she is probably working in a space of actually knowing I have full rights to him. She can make the decision if she wants him, you know what I'm saying? If she wants Halo to be with DDG.
According to that report,
if she says
tried.
no, then that's her right to say no. It's unfortunate.
And I think, yes, you got to obey the law. I'm not saying here saying not obey the law. But I think that if that is the law, I don't know if I agree with that. Like if in California, if that law is that the mom gets sole custody because she's just a mom, you know what I'm saying? And there's no paperwork. I don't think that's right. Just like I don't agree with it in Georgia. I mean, I got to abide by it, but I don't think that's right because what makes every mom isn't a fit mom. Just
and
like
that's when you come with then you have to come and show that they're not going to take the child away from the mother, but when you come and show that she is an unfit parent, as far as she has to be on drugs, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch. It has to be the drug situation. It has to be like proof of abuse. Like all of that has to happen.
He turned into Scooby Doo for a second.
I just didn't want to cut her. I was about to. I feel like I was about to cut her off.
It has to be that in order to take that child away from the mother.
But that's the problem. Why do I have to put forth all this paperwork? I gotta dang near degrade and demolish who your character is just so that I can have rights to my child. That's problematic. You know what I'm saying? I think it should be in the beginning, right? When you have your kid, they're born like that. There needs to be some type of system where it's like, all right, we agree, or you got to go to court or something like that, or fill out a paperwork that says who wants the person, and it got to be a mutual agreement.
That's
right?
kind of in the beginning of the baby being born.
Yes.
Or the beginning of a separation happening.
Baby being born, because then. So
you're in a relationship and you want them to still go to court and say.
Yeah, I want to say like.
In the event
that something happens, you know what I'm saying? This is what we want. This is what we agree on.
A prenup type of thing.
On the I mean
whatever. Like that's kind of what it sounds
because
like.
I feel like I'm not saying that. I mean, they're probably basing the law off of historical evidence of moms, or maybe it's biological.
That's what I was gonna say.
In nature versus I don't know what it is, but I'm not saying moms have not done a phenomenal job of raising children. They have.
Yeah, because we're coming off the heels of Mother's
I think
Day.
moms.
Okay, I'm all for that. I'm just simply saying that it shouldn't be automatic that a father don't have rights to his kids simply because of gender. That's all I'm saying.
But historically, also, unfortunately, it has been a sense of men don't want to take care of their children or don't want their children or are
I mean,
not
that's-
all the way fit.
It's
for their
different if you
child.
marry, right?
And that's something we
I-
gotta.
yeah, it
All right.
is.
Well, that's his option. He could have chosen. He could have chosen to marry her and have different rights.
That's very true.
But you didn't.
You
So
could
now
have chose
you
to
have
also
to
work your relationship out
And I was
and really stand in a family and work things out. I mean, there's.
I know we got to go to the next segment, but not next segment, but your next point in the tea. But even in the report, I don't know who telling the truth or whatever, but from her camp side, and just to be fair to his side of things, she a Rock Nation kid. So you know what I'm saying? Rock Nation know how to play the game. Like how you think the story got to TMZ?
I mean,
if
we want to talk about Rock Nation, we can also.
Yeah, I know another one.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like she said she tried to work out an agreement and they couldn't come to an agreement. I don't know how hard they actually tried to come to an agreement, but she at least said they tried. I don't believe that he found out on stream that he got hit with a restraining order because that's not how fucking laws work. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I don't know if this dude was dribbling her, like beating her up or trying to attack her. They really might have gotten to like a tussle. Like sometimes, just to be fair, like sometimes couples get into it and it's not abuse. Like I feel like that sometimes. If it's not people throwing punches and hurting each other, sometimes I feel like if y'all having these like weird arguments where y'all are getting physical, y'all should separate and get some kind of counseling and stuff like that. Now I don't necessarily feel like trying to restrain your girl is abusing her. I also don't feel like a girl getting in your face, pointing, maybe even putting her hands on you is enough for me to say you should like lead off and just punch her in the face. Like you're not gonna get me to agree to that either. So sometimes I feel like couples need to figure out a way to find common ground without bringing eyes and the police element into their relationships if it's not to that point. But at the same time, who am I to say it's not to that point? Because that nigga could just be waiting. Like that inch is all he needed to take that whole mile.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to say. Personally, I do think though that do y'all agree or is that out of bounds that sometimes relationships do get to a point where it's like, oh, we almost just got physical. We need to we need to change something.
Just really quick, if I recognize that somebody's getting me to the point where I want to hit them,
right?
I know.
You gotta separate.
This ain't for me.
Yeah.
Like I can't be with you if you are about to.
Wait.
If you making me feel like I need a.
Not generally speaking. I'm talking about. Let's just say you and not you, but just you and the person you deal with have a kid. The kid now is a huge trigger in a relationship because it can be you. You can use this kid to get back at each other. You can use this kid to be spiteful with each other. You can use this kid. You can try to poison one kid. The kid against one parent, and so on and so on. All them different things happen, and you're not yourself. You're not gonna be yourself when you put in situations like that for the first time. And it's like X was talking about, like for somebody like X is just Christian, nice ass dude, right? Mm-hmm. But if he can't see his kids, he probably be a different dude.
Yeah.
Probably be a different dude. Not as logical, not as thought out, not as easygoing, not as happy. So like when people aren't happy, like hey, y'all see the commercial, like you're not yourself when you haven't had a Snickers. Mm-hmm. Like you're not yourself. You really aren't yourself. Now you niggas that like to dribble women's head off the ground, I don't give a fuck that you're not yourself. Everybody got common sense. But I just think like when you got these young couples and they going through being parents for the first time and they getting into these arguments and shit and then they famous and they got money and it's like, well, you piss me off to the point where I'm going to destroy you.
It's just so much to unpack here when you kind of like.
I hope they figure it out.
You being a young parent. Her still being in postpartum. This boy, not even 2 years old at this point.
Wait, still?
Oh, postpartum can last a very long time.
Oh, I didn't know it was, okay.
But two, it's not until like they say like maybe 5 years is when a woman kind of like comes back into her body and like has a actual chemical, her chemical balance is now balanced, like at least at some point. Yeah. So when I see, it's a lot of things that are like when you see couples that break up so early when the child is in, it's to a degree it's not fair because the woman is still trying to, the chemical balance in her is still off. She's still trying to figure out, she's mourning who she was before she was a mom. It's just like a lot happening. And so I feel bad. And even for myself to know that, you break up with somebody while your child is still young because you're still trying to figure out yourself. in your emotional way. But just to pivot off of that, Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion.
All right.
That's another person. You know what I'm saying? That's another set of people that were not able to get their emotions in order to the point of so angry and also drunk that, you know what I'm saying, guns got, shots were fired.
Yeah. And first of all, I hope Tory is healing up.
So just
go ahead.
Yeah.
So Tory this week allegedly got stabbed. I keep doing this. I don't want to keep.
No, I feel like that's
but
actually
because
fair.
I've heard two different things, that he was stabbed, but then I heard another thing where somebody else was stabbing, and he got hit or whatever. So it wasn't like a direct at Tory. He was just innocent bystander.
So
I ain't heard that.
the 14 stabs is
That's what I'm
cap.
saying. You can hit the alleged on the fort. He said that. Ain't nobody from the prison or the hospital said he got stabbed 14 times.
okay.
It just
His
came on
lawyer
his
said he
social.
got stabbed 14.
And then ironically,
non-life-threatening injuries. That nigga had 2 collapsed lungs, but he ain't have no life-threatening injuries and got stabbed 14 times. All that shit don't make sense.
But then then now the very next day, more story come out. Another story comes out that Kelsey, who was also a part of the situation, her bodyguard says that, actually it was Kelsey who allegedly shot the gun and not Tory. So you see like, this man got to get hurt.
You niggas,
He's
boy.
got to get hurt. Or, you know what I'm saying,
niggas.
do this big old situation that he got hurt in jail. And now we're going to come out and say there are new claims that Kelsey, former bodyguard, said that she is the one that actually shot the shots.
You stupid niggas out there, boy.
So,
I love you. I love you, stupid niggas.
Right now, they're Tory Lanez attorney and them are trying to seek a pardon within California.
So let me get this straight.
And arguing for a new testimony.
Right. All of that. I need a new trial, all that. So you telling me he's such a real nigga, he decided to sit down for this girl he fucked at a party because he didn't want her to go to jail? And he wanted to put his career on pause for 2 years? He sat in jail he been in jail 2 years now. And he decided he was going to hold this girl down because he fucked her once at a party.
I'm trying to figure out the dynamic in general, because me and my homegirl were talking about it, and I feel like Tory knew that it was Kelsey. If this is the case, Tory knew that it was Kelsey, and Megan probably knew that it was Kelsey. But let's not forget, Kelsey and Megan were always best friends prior to this. So it could have been like, I don't fuck with you, but I'm gonna still protect you in a sense, because Kelsey did get immunity where every time she went on that stage or every time she went on that stand, she plead the fifth.
You don't think he would have said something?
I think Tory thought that the evidence would have shown that it was her, because her fingerprints and everything was still on the gun as well. And I think it was stupid of him not to say anything or not even try to really fight, because he thought that the evidence was going to show differently.
Hopefully.
And now his ass is in jail.
Hopefully this nigga, I would think if you in the trial watching it go, because it was going poorly for weeks, you would think, the girl with immunity, I should tell everybody why she shouldn't have immunity. I'm not happy that the nigga got stabbed. I don't wish that on nobody. I think once you get sentenced, you know what I'm saying, do your time, get out as early as you can, and get back to doing what you do. I don't know if he shot the girl or not. I do know that if he would have shut the fuck up, none of that shit would have happened. Like, niggas don't remember that. Most of the stuff happened because he kept talking about it, and he was running around.
But he was taunting
Megan. He was taunting Meg. He was running around talking about fucking both of the girls at the party at the same time. You was acting like a kid.
I feel like Tory might have thought that he was untouchable. Like
fucking Canadian.
He was in a way. It feels like he probably thought that, I'm gonna get off on this. Like,
he got off.
But
in that cell,
to
boy,
what I thought, also he's technically in jail for possession, right?
Yeah, because having the gun and shit like that. He didn't go to jail for shooting.
Right.
No, he didn't go to jail for shooting.
So either way, he's properly in jail for what he's supposed to be in jail for. But now, what are we going to do with this information that it was Kelsey? Now, is it Kelsey's ass that need to go to jail now?
I don't feel. I mean, if Megan, if she was supposed to go to jail, I'm pretty sure Meg would have tried to get her thrown in jail, right?
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's still some sense of loyalty toward.
They're not friends at all. They shit on each other.
No. There has to be some sense of a loyalty there, even though I don't fuck. That's what I said earlier. I don't fuck with you, but I'm gonna protect you, and we gonna find a way to grant you immunity where you don't say shit at all.
You think somebody would feel like that if you were backing somebody that I'm saying shot me, though? Because she was publicly backing Tory Lanez. Why would I? feel any
that's what I'm
loyalty.
saying. I'm trying to understand the dynamic. And when me and my homegirl were talking about it, we were also saying that like Kelsey and Megan, when Megan's mom died, which we all know was a big thing for her, Kelsey was there to the T, like all throughout that entire situation. So maybe there is some loyalty there for like being there for me during one of my like most horrible, times in my life. And
I'm such a pessimist.
I'm a lookout of something.
such a
Again, that's why I'm
pessimist,
trying
man.
to figure out the dynamic. I
No,
don't know.
I'm not talking
I don't
about that.
know.
I'm just saying, like, I'm such a pessimist because I swear to God, that would make me not trust you more. Like, I swear to God,
Because you
man.
was on Kelsey's end or Megan's end?
If I was, like, you being around me at my most vulnerable and we grew to be the closest we've been while I was as vulnerable as I've ever been, I just, that shit would bother the fuck out of me.
X, you got anything to say?
Yeah. I just think that Tory probably believes the idea that, no snitching.
Oh, look
And
how
I'm not saying it's smart.
The tough streets of
I'm
Toronto.
I'm just saying that that's probably why he hasn't told that it's Kelsey. You feel me? And Megan and Kelsey, no matter how long they've been together, no matter what their turmoil is, I think that in Megan's eyes, Kelsey isn't the one who betrayed her. Tory was. So because she couldn't see who shot her, you know what I'm saying? She just went off that Tory did it. You know what I'm saying? And a Tory trying to be a real stand-up guy isn't sitting there saying, hey, because again, the evidence on the gun, it doesn't match. The DNA on the gun don't match Tory's DNA. That's what they found out in the
both
trial.
of their handprints are on it. Because
I thought it said that there's a I mean, I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I thought it was that when they tried Tory's DNA to the gun, it wasn't matched. There was some unknown.
But it had Kelsey's all over it.
But it wasn't. But it would assume that it's Kelsey's, but they didn't run it
To be hers.
to be hers. You know what I'm saying? So, and also I think that if you have immunity, right, you're not gonna go off and say, "Yeah, it was me." Megan don't know because she was the one getting shot. And again, Tory's believing I can't snitch on this woman. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying it's right. I just wonder if this is true, will they, what's the word? Exonerate him, or will he still just have to sit for the gun possession charge?
He's in jail for having the possession of the gun. But that's that. We'll just see how that unfolds, I think. All right, now. So the story of the week, the biggest story of the week.
The biggest.
The biggest. The baddest. Diddy, y'all.
Sean Combs.
Sean Combs. Puff love Diddy.
Daddy. It's crazy.
He is now on federal trial. Isn't that how you say it? Trial. As of May 12th. So we're only a couple days in at this point, and a lot has unfolded in these last couple days. We know that Diddy is facing charges for sex trafficking, racketeering, and facilitating prostitution. As of right now, we've seen a former escort or an escort. I don't know if that person is still doing it or not.
The guy, right?
Yes, the guy on stand, and we got a little bit from there. But now in the past 3 days, Cassie.
Just a Cassie on the stand,
They
pregnant as
just got
hell.
Cassie on the stand. I feel so bad for her being on the stand, rehashing all of this, and pregnant. 8 months. I think she's like about to pop.
Yeah, she's gonna have a baby top of the next month.
Yeah, like so about 8 months pregnant. And she is sharing her testimony in regards to Diddy. Their relationship, as we know, is they were together for 11 years. They got together when she was 22.
21.
And he was 37, 38.
He was 37, 38. He's already had his fair share of children. He's already been in the industry for a long time. At that point for her, she was just now kind of starting, thinking she probably got her gold ticket out. End up probably being a complete nightmare to a degree. So Cassie has literally kind of painted the picture for us in regards to details regarding the freak offs that we've seen and heard of throughout this past year. You know, they talked about the baby oil. They talked about the number of escorts that they had. They even dived into that infamous video where we saw Diddy we could actually physically see him putting hands on her.
You remember he came out with a video right after that. It was like, man, she's just coming after my money. Yeah. He ain't apologized.
But he didn't even apologize. He didn't even apologize to her or anything like that. He just said,
Yeah, we talked about that because we felt like he couldn't admit guilt at that moment. First, he said that he
said she was after the money.
He came out of a video before the video dropped. He came out and said she's coming after his money. Then the video dropped. Then he came out and said, "I apologize for y'all having to see me like this. I was in a terrible space. I've gone to therapy and all that stuff." He never apologized to Cassie herself. The only thing that we saw of him addressing Cassie was at the BET Awards when he said, thank you, for holding me down through a really dark time in my life.
While Carisha was holding a sign. For those who don't know,
what are her questions?
We
Miami.
gonna listen.
What are the questions? I know you. All his girls get peed on, but you. Okay.
I honestly think that Carisha would have been the next Cassie.
She would have been down for it though. She thought you down.
Look how long it took him to, I guess, to an extent,
break her,
manipulate her, and get her to a point of enjoying not enjoying, but forcing her to do these freak offs with these people. I feel, and her being as young. We also looked at Carisha like she young, and Diddy like the young girls, and she
wasn't 21.
She wasn't 21, but Carisha was a city girl, and she in it for the money and the lifestyle, and so those type of things. So I feel like he probably knew if he would have worked that good enough, Carisha would have been next.
I'm saying like he probably look at all women like that though. Like when you that powerful with all this access and shit like that, he probably think of all of it as like just work. Like it's not. I don't think he looks at relationships the same. I thought Cassie being on the stand and talking her way through, like you talked about the escort going through some of the acts that they would do, coming out and just straight up saying that Diddy into voyeurism, or I'm saying it wrong, but Diddy basically liked to produce in real life. He liked to sit in the corner and tell the man how to have sex with Cassie. Like, he's into voyeurism.
I think it said something as far as it then basically turned into like a porno at this point.
He would, from the actual dancer, Diddy would be in a corner with like a bandana, a scarf covering his face, something over his head so you don't know it's Diddy, but Diddy is in the corner, and apparently
Cassie would be dressed up too. She would
Cassie
have a
would
wig.
be dressed up. She would be down.
She would have on, just things that you couldn't really identify that it was her.
Couldn't identify it was her, but it would be them, and that was how they would get their shit off.
They were kind of people from Craigslist. They were getting escorts from.
The dude said that he was just a stripper. He said he went there on the promise of like $200. He got there, and she opened the door. $200 to go like strip in somebody's like apartment or whatever, and then Cassie answered the door and was like, listen, like explained the situation to her and was like, listen, so if you're not comfortable with this, you can just take the $200 and dance for a little while and then you can leave, or we can have sex and I'm gonna give you $5,000 or something like that. And the dude was like, I cannot. Thank God this is happening to me today. And he was like, Cassie is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life, and she wants to pay me. And he didn't know about Diddy and all that shit, and that came later. But he was just happy the shit was happening to him. And that, like, if you listen to like what her and the escorts are saying, I know that the lady from Danity Kane gonna take the stand. Don coming up next. Yo, a lot of this shit is just straight up, he knows what people be wanting. He knows what people want from him initially, and he knows how to manipulate that to his situation. All I got from like the stuff she was saying was that all of the shit was super believable. Like nothing she said to me was unbelievable. I know some people were like, yeah, it looked like they got their work cut out for them, like it's the Thug case or whatever. It didn't look like that to me. To me, it seemed like his character is gonna be like gone.
Oh, it's already been gone.
I mean, like they can't even defend against him being abusive. They can't defend against him having a history of abuse. So if anybody speaks to what he was like when they dealt with him and they say, yeah, he slapped me, he went upside my head, he has no defense for that.
Their defense actually came out and started off saying, yes, he has a history of violence.
Exactly. So you can't get around that. And then when you start getting into, like, I saw people saying, well, why would she stay? Or why would she deal with that shit? And like, if you listen to her testimony, unless you're a fucking idiot, she tells you exactly why she would stay. At one point, she straight up said, yo, this nigga raped me. Like, he came to my crib, we weren't together, something happened, and he raped me straight up. The very next, the next question was, what happened after that? She was like, I saw him again. I saw him like 2 weeks later. And they were like, what happened when you saw her? We had sex, consensually. And the dude was like, well, why would you do that? And she was like, we've been together 10 years. That shit make perfect sense to me. Mm-hmm. And that shit's sad, really sad. But that shit made perfect sense.
With everything that she was going through, a lot of it was, because a lot of people are like, well, why did you go back? Why did you keep
It's all you know at a certain point.
And at this point, yes, it is all that you know, but he's being that he's abusive, now she's afraid to not abide by what he's saying, clearly.
I believe that too.
He gonna beat her ass.
They was talking about she talking to the escorts. It's like, nigga,
but
what?
Even if they had also cross-examined her, and they showed text messages of her saying like, oh, I can't wait for a freak off. You know how I feel, and I can't, I just want it to be uncontrollable or whatever. And they're like, well, it sounded like you liked it. For me, I'm reading it. It sounds like she's having to say this, or no, she's trying to be smart so that she can protect herself physically.
Exactly what it looked like.
So that she can protect herself from either getting verbally abused, manipulated again, or even physically abused. So she's just making him happy in a sense, and all of it is abuse.
Dog, they asked her straight up, this is when Mr. Combs threw you off the boat in Cannes when he accused you of taking his drugs and squeezed your legs. How did you feel? Did this happen? She said, yes, among other things. Dude said, but you still wanted to be with him. And she was like, yeah, I did. I was like, bro, this shit fucked up, bro. And it's like, she's doing, I know people, like, some of you niggas are just stupid and for some reason just want to ignore, like, when shit is staring you in the face. She got all, like, the textbook signs of, yeah, I got my ass beat for a long time and figured out how to survive while getting my ass beat. So, yeah, I'm going to stroke this nigga ego when because she would say, yo, if I don't text this nigga back, he get to tripping. He gonna call me, get to yelling and cursing. She basically confirmed, it's basically confirmed this nigga tried to kill Kid Cudi. It's like basically confirmed she was fucking with Kid Cudi. He did not like her fucking with Kid Cudi. Then he said that he wanted the nigga car to blow up, according to her. He said, I want that nigga car to blow up. I want his friends to see it. Mm-hmm. And then the nigga car blew up. And then they had a meeting with the nigga. And the nigga said, yo, why did you blow my fucking car up? And the nigga said, what car? Yeah. Like, nigga, are you bro, we all got money, nigga. I don't know how niggas sat through the meeting and didn't try to do nothing to him. But I guess at a certain point, though, like, when a nigga got all these people paid up and they down to die for him, you don't want to fuck with that. But, bro, like, textbook abuse. Like, the shit she was talking about, they was like you said, they tried to say, oh, you must have liked it because you were down to set it up. The freak off was like, or she didn't want to get punched in the fucking teeth, maybe. Yeah. Like, I don't find.
But I think
I don't get that shit, bro.
But I think there's a blurred line because my wife and I was walking yesterday, and this is prior to me reading the transcripts or hearing what was going on, and I had that same question, like, but why would you keep going back or why would you stay, right? Mm-hmm. And my wife looked at me like, yo, like she's about to spaz out. And she was like, she was afraid for her life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when you go and read the transcript, again, I said this was prior to me reading. So then once I read it and I started to listen, I was like, I can understand that. He also was going to blackmail her. Yeah. She talked about like, look, I will drop the videos of the freak off.
Because Diddy wasn't in them, for real.
Now also, mind you, right, at 21, she got signed for a 9-album deal, right? I don't even know.
She got one album.
One album, right? The 8 is gone. So then she's in this world of wanting, and she talks about how in the beginning she felt loved and cared about, and it was cool and exotic, and she enjoyed the freak offs because it was something that
Different.
they did
Pause
together.
right there.
And she was
But-
young.
Pause right there. That's the main thing. She said in court that he had to teach her how to give head.
She was young.
She was so young that she had to be taught
and
how
he
to.
exposed her to something
Twin,
that
you
she
weird.
didn't, you know what I'm saying, and that she probably didn't know. Now I
Yeah.
feel sexually
Who the
free.
fuck at 40 want to teach somebody how to suck dick?
But here's
Are you serious?
Yeah, but also I was saying that even in the ride here that I feel like he groomed her.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
she got
Yeah.
they
Absolutely.
because I think they first started dating at 21, but she was around prior
Way
to
before
that.
that.
You know what I'm saying? And so their first sexual encounter
Probably was when she was younger.
Was after no.
No, it was
She said
after,
It was
but-
after the 21. You know,
Okay.
them being dated.
According to her.
According to her, right?
Okay.
And so I think in all of that, there's a lot of manipulation. Of course, there's abuse. There's physical abuse. There's mental abuse. There's emotional abuse. There's also this idea of this dream
Financial.
that I'm supposed to have. I don't know what the
She
financial.
signed a
I don't know what the
10-year
financial abuse.
a 10 album deal, and it didn't happen.
Right. And so
It didn't
in her
happen.
mind, it's like, yo, he has the power to be able to get me to my dreams, but also he has the power to ruin me, probably kill me. I done seen him blow up, you know what I mean? A car. I done seen him abuse the heck out of me. Even the video, which we're seeing that
It
we
was
saw
very
out.
slight, but it was enough to see.
But that video was her trying to escape,
A freak
you know,
off.
a freak off or
That
whatever like
video
that.
looks so much worse now that you know he was like.
What was happening in
Bro,
the
he
inside.
ran out of an orgy to whoop her ass, bro.
Yeah.
Think about that, bro.
Yeah, and I think it
That shit deep,
here's
man.
the thing that I was wondering, right? Is
Or her parents didn't kill him.
what? Not even that. What does his kids think of him?
So his daughters.
Because
They walked
His
out.
daughters walked out of court when the male stripper was going through some of the sex acts and stuff like that. Apparently, his sons are, including the one that's not his son that likes to be there.
Quincy.
But
Quincy?
yeah,
Alvin
like when the
Shore's son.
stripper said, I don't know the guy's name, so I'm just calling him stripper, but I don't mean to disrespect him.
Phil, I think it was Philip or something like that.
Philip. So he said that when he was telling the story, he was going through the shit that Diddy was doing, and he said like, yeah, I couldn't perform. Like he stopped fucking with them
Because he saw her get beat.
he saw her get her ass beat, and he was like, oh, y'all weird. Oh, okay. So, but he said at one point, like, yeah, Cassie told me to pee on her, and like, yeah, and the dude was like, oh, dude, she asked you to pee on her, not him. She asked, and he was like, yeah, and then the sons was like, fucking finally, bro, like somebody telling the truth. And that was what people said that were there. The Lauren girl from
Trying to show.
Lauren LaRosa, she said that was like the first time the boys showed anything on day one. But the daughters left when the stripper started to
I'm gonna be
go
honest
into
with you,
detail.
I don't think the children or his mother should be there.
I think
Like
the sons probably
in this
were there.
space right here.
Why not?
It's a lot,
That's
bro.
a lot.
No,
bro.
I'm not saying it's not a lot.
I
But
would-
what
If
what
I was Diddy,
Yeah, I wouldn't
which will
want
never
it.
be the case. But if I was him, I would be like, nah, I don't want y'all to
It
come.
just don't make sense.
Don't come.
Even if I'm a win, it don't
Don't
make
come.
sense.
I don't need your support. Like, don't come.
But here's the thing.
You gonna see
right?
it, though.
This is why I asked I wonder what they think, because you got the boys and girls, of course, the age differences, different stuff, right? The twins, what kind of father sits there and is doing this type of thing to another daughter, right? And now your daughters are having to hear. They might, because I was thinking about this.
He has
They
three,
might-
and they're in the same age.
Right. They might have
Tons of niggas are
heard things at school or like that. But it was like, you know what? Nah, because I'm assuming that in you're a high profile person, the news gets out, right? You could deny it because you're sitting there like, yo, I know my father.
They kind of been.
But you in court now,
and you hearing it.
and you hearing stuff, not only just hearsay, you hearing detailed activity, right? And sure, they may have had prom to go to and stuff like that. That can all two things can be true at the same time. But I also think like your image of who your hero is now turning into the devil or a monster or a villain. But now you got sons, right? Who I know what's going on
You
or
think
have
they
been a
wasn't
part
there?
of and stuff like that. Huh?
You
Allegedly,
think they wasn't there?
Even
yeah,
if- but even if-
allegedly the sons have also been.
Why
in
wouldn't
some
they be?
buildings.
Right, I'm not saying, but here's what I'm saying is that you're you probably gonna ride with your dad regardless. But I'm like, you know this was happening.
Bro,
you saw this happen, but I think there's just two sides. It's like, yes, even no, this is what I'm saying. If for them to say like, thank you, somebody telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
There could have been where Cassie was saying, yes, I desire this. Or I'm saying that I desire this because I want because he told me, or I know that he likes it and I want to have a good night.
That's
right?
more likely than the opposite to me.
But what I'm saying is, from their perspective,
yeah, I'm not.
They don't know. They don't. All they're seeing is what's happening. They don't have backstory context because I know their father ain't sitting there telling them like, "Yo, I whooped her."
Bro, who thinks that like unless you watching your mom get her ass beat, and even then sometimes niggas take their dad's side. Who really vilifies their parents as as youngsters or like younger people? Like when you get older, and you can see the era of niggas' ways, bro. If you grow up and you have the ability to, whenever you go to your pop's house, it's like 10 to 15 naked hoes in the house, and you get to do whatever the fuck you want to, and it's like a winter wonderland. You're not gonna think, yeah, my pops probably, like if you think about it, Cassie is an employee. She was an employee the entire time.
She
all
said
this
it was like
is
a
going
job.
on.
That's how they're kind of getting him.
No. She was literally a fucking employee. She was signed to a record label.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the nigga that run the label. You are my employee. Mm-hmm. You can't fuck the talent. That was what he was doing, basically. You fucking talent, you fucking young talent at that, and then you stepping on careers. You think his kids give a fuck, one, about Cassie's career, or even know the extent that he been doing this shit? Because some of the stuff, like you could think like, oh, okay, my pops, he buy prostitutes. Mm-hmm. He'll get us prostitutes. But that's just how rich niggas like. That's just the lifestyle. All his friends do this shit. Mm-hmm. Everywhere we go, I see this. When I go to parties, I see this. So I know my dad's not the worst of the worst because on top of all this shit that he let me do, he's my dad. Mm-hmm. And he's, no matter how you feel about this nigga, his kids gonna have some good memories with him.
I'm not denying that.
No. I'm just saying that, like, if they have good memories with him,
that's what they want to keep.
That's what I'm holding on to. So I'm not gonna fucking. But until you show me, like, without a shadow of a doubt, the person that I think is like the greatest in the world is actually a piece of shit, I'm not going.
But see, here's the thing. In this case, right? That's why I'm asking. What do Quincy, Christian, and Justin think? Because I'm thinking in this moment, you're hearing these stories. Some of them may be flashbacks of what you may have seen, heard of, whatever like that. But you hearing these stories. Are you still looking at your pops the same way? Because please believe, if it was me, ain't no way I'm looking at my pops the same way I looked at him before.
You don't know how you would act if you grew up in that.
What I'm saying is,
keeping it a buck, now that I think about it.
What I'm saying is, having black eyes, the evidence, you can't deny. You can't deny the evidence.
Yeah, you whoop girls' ass.
You can't deny the evidence, bro. Like, there's no way you can sit there and lie your way.
Some niggas don't look at that the way we look at that for some reason.
I mean, that may
I'm with you, but some niggas don't. It's not the ending thing for them.
That's only my thing is like, how as a father, bro, like, are you doing this, allowing this? What type of man are you trying to represent for your children? And what is the trauma or the things that you have now embedded in them moving forward? Like, that's my thing. I don't really care about his feelings or his or you know his mental health or whatever like that, because you done some diabolical stuff.
He running around like he was a villain, bro.
And this ain't diabolical like how we talk about. Literal.
This is like
literal diabolical.
You blew up a
things.
nigga car because you like the girl.
And,
think about that.
But like the way you have just deconstructed another human being for your object of affection, and then brought all these other people involved. Like, I'm not saying he's running a Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not saying he's running a criminal enterprise.
I think that's gonna be the one thing that they lose out on.
That's the RICO. I mean, that's what the RICO is for.
Shit is weird.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's running a criminal enterprise, but is he doing some messed up things, or did he do some messed up things? Absolutely.
I think they'll be able to prove like the sex trafficking thing. Like, for that to be provable, all they needed to do is prove he got a stripper on a plane.
And he did, and they proved that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the only thing that his lawyers got a real chance of defending him against is this was organized crime, because he was using his record label to do those things. I just think, like, seeing her on the stand, and hopefully she don't got to get back on the stand, as pregnant as she is, going through all that stuff, I just thought it was a really, really intense look at abuse victims that
Yeah.
I don't really get, that I've never really seen. Or maybe it's my fault for not really listening to cases like that before. But to hear, like, knowing what I know about like abuse and like how that cycle goes, listening to her, it didn't sound like she was 100% aware of how what she was saying sounded. Like, it sounded like she was just being honest about some shit that happened. But if you just listen to it, it's like, oh, this is like textbook. Like, oh, you got taught. So you meet this old nigga. He basically shows you what sex and all of these different things are, and it ends up turning into you now having these debaucherous sex parties while you're young. He's telling you that if you ever leave him, he'll expose the fact that y'all did these things, which then makes you
your reputation.
You're fearful for your reputation because, first of all, people already think the only reason you signed to the label is because of him and you fucking this dude. Yeah. So you, in real life, like, fuck was real life happening to her. In entertainment at that time, she used to get killed. Like, I remember when she went on 106 & Park and fucked up. And everybody was on her neck about that shit. And people were saying that she was just signed because she was fucking Diddy and shit like that. Imagine what that did to her, like, mentally. While she was going through that, she's, like, been moved out to wherever this nigga stay. Even if they not living together, when they not together, she stays close enough that he can send assistance and people like that up and back. I mean, like, to the point where he got some nigga named D-Rock texting her, like, yo, it's time to ice your face. Like, it's niggas around, and they cool?
But also,
like, what?
Also, look.
You gonna bring the operation down.
But look,
like, what?
I also, the hearing of, like, the UTIs, right?
The mouth sores.
Like, the mouth sores, the UTIs, and, like, you're taking medicine. You got to be whisked away so you could do recovery, and then you're still engaging in those activities while you're trying to heal from those type of things. And it's like, it's so sad because it's like what we think sometimes when you're young and impressionable, you do things because you think something's going to turn out some way, and someone like can take advantage of that stupidity. That's why I got the whole issue with like the age difference and stuff, because I'm like,
it's too vast for me.
There's nothing that you could tell me that can convince me that this is a good thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see their text? Like, did you see what they was like? You know how they be like, what are they talking about? Like, how are they be talking about, yo? For him to be like, he would have had to been in his 40s when these texts was sent, and she would have been like in her early 20s. Yo, texting your girl while she on her period, what do you do when you horny? I'm like, damn, bro, this nigga like a 12, like he like 15, bro. This is the type of shit I would say when I was like a teenager to girls. But he's like 40 years old on a private jet, like texting this girl who he basically got chained to him, like acting like they like doing this thing. I don't know, bro. That shit just, it ain't like I held Diddy to like this high standard or whatever. Like, I already knew he beat women and shit like that. I already assumed that he wasn't like the greatest dude in the world. But to hear her say, like, the shit that he was getting off, what he was into, I don't care what you into. If you into watching people have sex with your girl or whatever. First of all, to be a violent cuck is crazy. Like, I've never seen a nigga like, how are you a violent cuck? Like, you like watching people fuck your girl, but you get violent? A cuck.
A cuck?
Yeah, it's like when you like to watch people fuck your girlfriend. You shouldn't be so violent. And what? You shouldn't be violent like that. But yeah, like, to see him go through all of that and to listen to her stories, to basically hear that it was tons of people around that knew she was getting her ass beat and nobody cared, basically. But then, or if they did care, they were fine with what was going on with her. That shit is sad. Her parents not knowing that she was getting her ass beat like that, because she according to her, she was like, well, shit, if I tell them and they do something to him, what if he do something to them? Yeah. I'm watching this, and he handed me guns and shit as we going into places, and blowing cars up. I think this nigga can do anything.
I also want to kind of go back to, I feel like maybe she didn't even really know what was going on because of her being on drugs so much. Like, that's also a thing, because she ended up being addicted to opioids, trying to heal from, you know what I'm saying? She said at some point the medicines or the drugs for the UTIs were not working anymore. The antibacterial stuff was not working at that point. So then she started taking opioids to kind of heal from that pain as she was going through those freak offs and stuff like that. So at that point now she's hooked on drugs. What they said, he introduced her to meth and X and all of those things, and now she's hooked on it that she probably don't even know. She's not even in her right mind at this point. So even if you try to say, oh, she wanted to do it, or, you know what I'm saying, it was on her, baby girl was not in her right mind to even make a clear decision.
Bro, you
at
had
this
that
point.
girl calling him Pop, bro. That nigga supposed to go to jail.
Anyways, it's more to unfold. Obviously, we know that Dawn is about to get on the stand. We don't know who else is going to get on the stand. If that other girl from Danity Kane gets on, it's a wrap. The white girl. What's Aubrey? Aubrey, because Aubrey been open about it for a long time. Like, she been talking about Diddy for a minute. And so if she comes on the stand, we don't know what's gonna happen. I think what's happening on social media as well is people who are stupid are not understanding how this has anything to do with racketeering, and they're all saying, "Oh yeah, for sure this is a domestic violence," but I don't see a crime in him being freaky. And you know what I'm saying? That's the
racketeering is the moving.
But the
women.
racketeering is the moving of
with company funds,
with company funds, people, and drugs. Period. So people on social media are stupid, and they're trying to sit here and say, "Oh, yeah, for sure, this is a domestic violence, but we can't fault anybody for being freaky like that." No, dog, it's things that unwrapped in this freaky set. You know what I'm saying? It's things that you did and how we got here and how you manipulated and used people.
And when you sexually abuse a human being, that is against the law.
It's a crime, and people are like, "I don't understand." People are like, "I don't understand."
I just want to put it in case you don't. Let me look at the camera and say this. In case you don't know, if you sexually abuse a human being, if you sexually assault a human being, if you rape a human being, you know what I'm saying? That is against
relationship or not.
That is against the law.
If she says no, bruh.
And you should be tried to the fullest extent of the law. Period.
But if a girl say no, just jump up, bro.
If a girl says no, like, okay, no is no. But anyways, we'll this is going to unfold. I'm pretty sure if you tune in on Sunday,
we'll talk
the
about
hottest
it.
show on 1380 WAOK, also on the Audacy app, we will be talking about this. It probably will hit another podcast. I think this is probably one of the biggest stories to kind of unfold in a long time. We've seen a lot of crime things, but like people are really tuning in because Diddy was this person in our culture and in the hip hop space that a lot of us at one point adored and really looked up to for his business savvy and what he was able to bring to the table. And now we see that you are a complete, like, what's the word? Go ahead, Austin.
He's a piece of shit. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah. So
sometimes great people are pieces of shit.
Yeah. So, and that's what we see now, and we're just gonna continue to see that coming from Diddy. But this is it, y'all. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. We ended up doing the tea the whole show, but I feel like it worked.
Is that not what you wanted, Austin?
No, in my head, no. I was thinking we would go, but we ended up talking to you about the topics every time you did a topic. I like that.
Okay.
I like that. I like how you led us in prayer today. That was beautiful.
Amen.
My fool's
we figuring it out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We figuring it out. It is episode 5. We got more people coming at some point, but work with us. We figuring it out. We appreciate everybody who tuned in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. Go ahead, do your spill, X.
Make sure you subscribe. Austin, what's the
follow us at VIS Unfiltered ATL on YouTube. And TikTok, I want to say.
Definitely stay tapped in. It's Xavier Brandon on MIC with my girl.
Desii Tea.
My man's.
Austin McCall.
And this is Voice in the Streets, Unfiltered the podcast. We out. Later.